What's going on there, YouTube? This is ODC, that's me, and I'm back with another action figure review. And this is my review of the Iron Man Marvel Legends IronMonger Build-A-Figure. Really like this figure a lot. I just got the arms on Friday. I opted not to get the last two figures in the wave, and because I don't really care about those figures. I'm not a big fan of those figures. So yeah, I don't care about movie figures unless it's like Captain America. So when it comes to that, I just opted to get the arms. The arms were actually way cheaper. I got them for $10 shipped, and it's much cheaper than buying the actual figures that I could care less about. So with that being said, I think this guy looks really, really good. And I'm gonna do a couple size comparisons. And yeah, I actually have a few, so let's get into that. Let's get the size comparisons out of the way, and then I'll get into the gripes that most people have. Here is, I'm gonna do this. Here's my favorite Iron Man ever made that, you know, does need some touching up with some white around these specs, which I've gotten into in his review. So if you haven't checked out that review, check that out. But here he is standing up next to the Build-A-Figure IronMonger. So as you can see here, you know, they're about the same size if you count these little his little pegs up here, his little head, the top of IronMonger's head. Excuse me, I'm like brain farting. But there you go. So they are around the same size. So here's another size comparison with him and IronMonger, and as you can see, IronMonger is just way bigger than Iron Man, and that was most people's gripe, was that he's way, you know, he's too short, he's too small. I don't really think he's too small. I think he's a good size, actually. So I disagree with the people that say he's too short. Could he have been maybe a little bit taller, like about around there? Sure, but you know, I'm not gonna nitpick about, you know, his size when he's obviously much bigger than Iron Man here. So that being said, and this is also actually one of the taller Iron Man, so there you go. Here's another size comparison with him and Terax, and as you can see, they're around the same size, so they're probably actually exactly the same size. So with that being said, there you go. There's your size comparison. So he's not really that short. As I try to get my charger over here because my camera's about to die. So there we go. Okay, we're all set. Anyways, so yeah, so there's your size comparison. He's not really that short. I think he's a good size. Excuse me. But let's get to his articulation. His head does move side to side. There you go. Casting a lot of shadows here. Sorry, I apologize. But his arm does move up about that far. It does go down. It can't do a full 360 because his shoulder pads here are hindering that. He does have a... does he have a bicep swivel? Mine might just be frozen. It looks like he has a bicep swivel, but it's not working. So, no bicep swivel. He does have a swivel at the elbow and a hinge at the elbow. He does have a little bit of rotation in the wrist. He does have an ab crunch. Well, really just moves back more so than forward. So maybe that's a gripe of mine. It doesn't really move forward. It moves so far back, which actually can work for flying poses, but still should be able to move forward. So that's a gripe of mine. I don't like that. His leg does move forward and back and is on a T-joint, so that's really great. Really digging that. He does have double jointed knees. He does have an ankle swivel and an ankle hinge that has a very short range of motion, so it just kind of jiggles a little bit. So maybe he could have done a little bit better with the ankle, although he doesn't really have a problem standing at all, so I guess it's not really that big of a deal. Batman's calling me right now. Sorry. All right. Sorry, Batman. The Bat phone's out of commission for the day. But, yeah, I think he looks really great. And I definitely suggest getting him if you're an Iron Man fan. You probably already have him. He does have some nice detail. I really dig the paint. It's a very unique, nice color for the character. And, yeah, I think it makes him stand out a little bit, even though he's probably coming up on here a little bit dark. So let me get in here and show you some of the detail real quick. His face does look very good. He does come off a little bit darker on camera than he does in person. And he's got some nice flakes going on in his paint. And it's a very marbleized plastic, so you kind of get like a marbleized look through him. His hands look very nicely detailed. Focus. Come on. Stop being blurry. Thank you. So I'll just move this slowly. And the hoses look good on his arm. So he is done very nicely. There's a lot of detail in his back. You can even see the detail in his his suit spinal cord, which is pretty cool. There's just a lot of the nice paint. It's very metallic-esque and flakes. There's a lot of flakes in there, so that's really nice. And he does have some detail on the bottom of his feet, so that's really good. He does have 2 peg holes also. Those are peg holes. He doesn't come with a stand, unfortunately, but he is a Build-A-Figure, so you can probably just get a generic stand if you really want to, but he doesn't really need a stand to stand. So no stand to stand. No stand to stand. No stand to stand. Stop it. Okay. So yeah, definitely I think he's a if I had to rate this figure, he's a good figure. If I had to rate him, I'm probably going to give him an 8. I think he's a really solid Build-A-Figure. Like I said, Hasbro is not Toy Biz, and that's what we have to tell ourselves. Now, Rocket Raccoon and Hitmonkey are unacceptable Build-A-Figures. That I agree with. When it comes to like a Build-A-Figure like this size, I think that you can get away with it. I think it's acceptable. Small Build-A-Figures are unacceptable to me. I think that they could have given us a Groot and a Groot Build-A-Figure and maybe possibly attached, or just give us a Groot figure and attach Rocket Raccoon to it. But when you get one this size, I think this is an acceptable Build-A-Figure. I mean, this isn't Toy Biz anymore. You know, we're not gonna get those Build-A-Figures. I know that we're supposed to get a bigger Build-A-Figure in the Ultimate Green Goblin, I think, but which I really don't care to even get. But I think this guy is a good figure. I'm sticking with my 8. I think he's good job, Hasbro, and yeah. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the flip side.